All right, 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM listeners, you already know what time it is. And right here, right now, we actually have an amazing hip hop veteran, Canadian hip hop veteran at that. We got Genesis the Ruckus right here live on the line, man. How are you doing this evening?
I'm great, man. I'm great, man. Yeah, it's Genesis the Ruckus. Yeah, man. I'm on, man. I'm on. I'm saying I'm doing great, man. Yeah, music is great. The music career is great, and life is, I can't complain, man. Things are blessed. You know what I'm saying? I'm on a West Coast tour right now. Doing shows in BC. You know what I'm saying? Different areas of BC. Other times I go to Calgary as well. So a bit of a West Coast tour, and yeah, man, just enjoying myself. In the West right now, man.
Hey, I gotta say, man, you can't go wrong with the West Coast, man. A lot of opportunities out there. Like, there's opportunities out in Ontario and Quebec and whatnot, man, but nothing beats the West Coast. That's coming from an East Coast individual, man.
Yeah, real talk. I feel you, man. I feel you. They have a different kind of game out here, but I feel you, man. There's so many different opportunities and different connections. You can tap in with different individuals on different levels, even. You know what I'm saying? You can really it's kind of like it's less saturated than like I love the East Coast. I'm from obviously I'm from Toronto, but like I can see how the difference is that here is not as saturated. You know what I'm saying? That the entertainment industry is not as saturated as the East Coast. You know what I'm saying?
But also as well, man, I gotta take you back to the beginning of your amazing career this far, and I have to ask, man, what originally inspired you just to pursue a career within the music industry, man? Because you have such a unique sound when it comes to your music, man. When you slap on a Genesis the Ruckus record, man, you know it's the Ruckus.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I appreciate that, man. It really started from a younger me, man. You know what I mean? When I was a teenager, I fell in love with hip hop early, and you know what I'm saying? Salute to the teacher, man. The reason why I fell in love with hip hop, KRS-One. You know what I'm saying? Salute to him, and then from there, you know what I'm saying? I really got adapt into writing at a younger age and adapt, to the music and rapping and stuff. I 10 years old. You know what I mean? So I thought it was an off and on thing, but because of that, I've over the years, I've created different music. I started doing shows when I was like 16 years old. You know what I'm saying? 17, like my cousin, the DJ in the clubs. You know what I'm saying? In Montreal and stuff, and I used to he let me into the club just to perform. Like the owner would know, you know what I mean? I was just going there and performing. Since that day, I fell in love with hip hop, and then eventually, you know what I mean? I format, and then mom gave me Genesis, and you know what I'm saying? One of my best friends, well, the best friend gave me Ruckus, in my 20s, so early 20s, like 21. And then I put two and two together, Genesis the Ruckus. And I have a certain formula, you know what I mean? Like I own my own recording studio, so I really take my time to craft, you know what I'm saying, my song and project, singles or video, even if I'm doing a show. I really take my time to craft the actual music at that point, or the performance if I'm doing a performance. I really go into the professional side of it and make sure things are proper. And then over the years, I developed my slogan. It's Ruckus, you know what I mean? And then since then that came on, it was just an amazing thing, you know what I'm saying? But it started at a younger age for me, you know what I mean? I started touring Canada when I was like early 20s. I was like 25, you know what I'm saying? I was doing shows, doing shows in Manitoba, doing shows in Montreal, doing shows overseas, you know what I'm saying? And I seen like how the people responded to it, and like the fans, signing autographs, for like 50 people line up and stuff. Like I started that really young, you know what I'm saying? And since then, that inspired me too to be a great artist. And at the same time, to answer to your question again, is really that signature, and I really take my time to actually craft my work. You know what I mean? Put my song together, put my music, the beat, it's no rush. You know what I mean? I own my own studio. When somebody owns a studio, you're kind of on a some artists are kind of on a budget. You know what I mean? Some artists, they can't work. They can't take their time with a certain project. For me, I take the pride of taking time. So when I put it out to the world, they're like, oh, that's Ruckus. I wanted to also too. I've always wanted to be different from everybody else. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a copycat. You know what I'm saying? I'm a person that sets trends. You feel me? So because of that, for me, it was that, and that right there. That's what you got. That's what you said is that I have a unique, unique sound. And when you hear it, you know it's Ruckus. You know it's me. You know what I'm saying? It's because I took my time over the years to really, put that together and craft, and then it became. I didn't even put it together. It just came together over the years, and professionalism is very important. You know what I'm saying, in this game, and that's why I always wanted to be that person that also stands out. From the crowd. Like I'm not a person that copies. I'm a person that sets trends from a younger age. You know what I'm saying? So that's where that comes from.
And also as well, man, on April 17th of 2012, you actually released the amazing 11-track album titled Win or Die Trying. I was wondering if you can actually tell our listeners a bit more about this project. That way, if they didn't get the opportunity to hear it back in 2012, and of course, where can they actually buy or stream it today, if it is still on the internet?
Yeah, it's still in the stores. They can hit Genesis Ruckus.com, and they can still find that album. That album is everywhere. It's all over. It's in all the digital stores. iTunes, Spotify. It's still on there. You know what I'm saying? It's part of my legacy, my resume. When I started, right? And the Get Rich or Die Trying. You know what I'm saying? It was also, the title, as you can tell, you know what I'm saying? It was a bit inspiration from 50 Cent, you know what I mean? At that particular time in my life. And I wanted to make a mark, you know what I mean? Dropping my first, essentially, before that was mixtapes, street mixtape, giving away free CDs on the street. But that was my first album I ever dropped, onto the stores, right? And it did great, and at that time I just had to, craft my work, and that particular album, Win or Die Trying, to a certain level where it sets the bar, not sound like the next artist, not saying none of the songs on the album sound like anybody else or 50. The title might have a bit of a mixture because what I'm saying, because kind of similar. But it was really to the point where, I've been working so hard toward my music. Started at a younger age, doing shows and putting out mixtapes and stuff like that. But just at that point in my life, until 2012, I just sat down and said, you know what, I'm gonna put a proper project out that's gonna really hit the fans and the people out there. And it did great. And even though it wasn't promoted fully, it did great. And another thing that I had to during that time, I had Honey the Diva, which is an R&B singer, right? That I worked with and so forth for so many years. You know what I'm saying? I still work with her. But she was included on that album too. Now that I remember clearly. And just that blend of the rap and the hip hop R&B, you know what I mean? I wanted to really touch on that, and that was the perfect timing for me. And during that time too, I was going through a lot of stuff in my life. You know what I'm saying? As far as street stuff, you know what I'm saying? Street shit I was going through, and I had to tell my story properly. And the time where I was doing it was at the same time I was in the street, but I was doing my exit from the street. And at that particular time in 2012, I put out, Win or Die Trying, you know what I'm saying?
And I gotta say, when you actually brought up Diva a few moments ago, man, that's actually one of my favorite songs off that project, man. Was actually When the Wind Blows, man. I love that song off that record.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that, man. A lot of people, a lot of not just not to say that you're the only one so forth, but there's a lot of people over the years. Yeah, they love that song. That song is an instant classic. And when the wind blows, yeah, I remember that song. It was like yesterday. I even want off and on. I don't like, some people they put on an album or they don't listen to it anymore. Me, I'm one of those artists. When I create my art, I go back to it. You know what I'm saying? I listen to it again. I have the album, right? But I'll surf back onto the album, listen to it again, and reminisce about that time frame and what we did. Yeah, she's definitely a great singer. You know what I'm saying? Because she grew up singing in churches, and she knows what she's doing on the track. And yeah, no, thank you. I really appreciate that, man. And she said thank you as well, man.
I gotta say, man, it's always great going back and listening to your projects as well. Like you said, because you can actually hear the growth as an artist as well. You can go back and kind of maybe even learn from your own mistakes that you made earlier on in your career, or just go back and just relive an amazing project that you made during an amazing time of your life.
Right, exactly. Instead of, like, you know what I mean? Because I listen a little bit of everything, different hip hop, different rappers. But like, exactly, that feels so great because then, like you said, you can go back and really like pinpoint and really when you come out with your next project or certain other project, musical project you come out with, it's gonna be different, right? And then also too, you're not gonna be talking about the same thing because that's the power of revisiting your actual project. I really believe that artists should do more of that because then they won't repeat after themselves. You know what I'm saying? Or they won't try to retell their story that they already told, you know what I'm saying? Or they won't have because, as artists, we keep reinventing ourselves, you know what I'm saying? As an artist, you have to keep reinventing yourself, you know what I'm saying, as you go along, because if you don't, the time will pass, the future, like we're in the future now, the future will pass you by, right? So that's one thing I always believed in, and that's one thing I always enforce is that. And it feels great. You sit there, you're listening to your thing, and it's like almost you can't believe you made this project. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes I go back to my older stuff, to my older, albums or singles, and I'm just like, wow, I can't believe, it's still pumping. Like people still love it. People see me on the street. People see me from a couple of years after not seeing me, and they'll be like, oh, I remember you. You're just for Ruckus. Oh, I love your Winner That Trying album. Oh, I love this first project you dropped. It's like they're still banging it, you know what I'm saying? And there's people they don't even fuck with the new era, you know what I'm saying? They love that classic shit. So it's like they keep going back to that classic hip hop, you know what I'm saying?
And also as well, you are actually on the Interscope Records watch list. I was wondering if you can actually tell our listeners a bit more about that, because honestly, man, for an amazing Canadian hip-hop artist like yourself to be on Interscope Records watch list, man, that's huge for any Canadian hip-hop artist.
Yeah, no, it's definitely big, man. It's one of my accolades, you know what I'm saying, that I've achieved over the years. And it was me having connections with with a lot of major artists, you know what I'm saying, Bobby Creekwater, like from Shady Records. I don't know if you probably definitely heard about him. And like certain individual that was, certain management that was, around Interscope, a few years ago that I was talking to and that contacted me, you know what I mean, regarding my music and regarding really, just keep grinding, you know what I'm saying? We see you working and you're doing great. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was told by by the majors, right? To be like, you're doing great. You know what I'm saying? People that were connected directly to Interscope and some of them that was affiliated at that particular time around Interscope. And they, there was email that was sent to me that from Interscope Records, offering me to be on certain magazine or what I'm saying, certain website and so forth. So there was a lot of communication there, and it was just I gained that throughout honestly through like hard work. You know what I'm saying? Hard work of doing shows, promoting my music, online, constantly putting out projects and mixtapes, you know what I'm saying, over the years, many mixtapes over the years. So that what happened with that connection. And I don't really remember the individual name, but there was another individual too, a rapper that was on that level. Oh yeah, I know he's not part of Interscope, but even him during that time, we were talking. Little C's, Little C's.
Oh yeah, Junior Mafia.
Yeah, Junior Mafia. Yeah, I talked to him, man. You know what I'm saying? We chopped it up. You know what I mean? We talked. Even him. You know what I'm saying? At that time when I spoke to him, he was feeling the energy, feeling the ruckus. He's like, yo, you guys sound great. You know what I'm saying? You're great. You're a great artist. You know what I'm saying? And then coming from an individual like himself, and Bobby Creekwater, all the individual management from Interscope, that gave me, more of a push on energy to go even harder. Not saying I wasn't going hard, but to go even harder, because now it's just like, this is a great thing, because they're plugged to my network. You know what I'm saying? There was a time, I know that he's not connected with Interscope right now, but there was a time off and on I spoke into the game. The game from Compton.
Oh, definitely, man. I actually I still go back and listen to that song, "Hate It or Love It" with featuring 50 Cent, man. Still one of my favorite game joints.
That's a classic, brother. That's the classic. Yeah, I spoke to him too. You know what I mean? I still keep contact. You know what I'm saying? With certain individuals. I spoke to Game. You know what I'm saying? The time he had the features. He was having artists featuring. It was time I spoke to him, just because it's like, yo, you have great music and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Is that part of my bio? The reason why I put that in there is because I've been connected and affiliated with individuals that are part of Interscope Records.
And also, as well, aside from the music industry here for a few moments, man, I also read that you actually played a role in the motion picture movie A-Team that actually starred Rampage Jackson and, of course, Liam Neeson. I was wondering, how did that movie role come to be for you? And, of course, what was it like just being on set of that film, man? Because that film actually was freaking huge. I think it, I don't think it won awards, but it definitely sold a lot of copies all over the world.
Yeah, thank you for touching base on that. Yeah, that was an amazing experience, man. That was an amazing experience. That was a time in my life, when I lived in Vancouver, actually. You know what I'm saying? That was a certain time in my life when I was, years ago. And they filmed it in Langley, BC, the actual movie. So it was an amazing. I even got to meet Rampage Jackson and the other individual there. What's his name? One of the main actors in that movie, A-Team. I know it's not coming into mind right now, but one of the main actors. Yeah, it was amazing, man. You know what I mean? They take me also because of my physique. You know what I'm saying? I train, I hit the bag, I lift and stuff. So they picked me because of my physique. And you're right, that movie was huge. They covered so much land for them to actually film that movie, and so much people. You know what I'm saying? Actors, background, so many. It was huge. There was even helicopters there, real helicopters. You know what I'm saying? And it was an amazing experience. They had me dressed up in in army gear. I even have the picture today. Off and on I share it, you know what I'm saying, for the Throwback Thursdays and stuff like that. Off and on I share that picture. And then sometimes when I share the picture, people think, oh, you're in the army? I'm like, no, that's a movie set. I was in the dressing room, and they dressed me all up in army gear, the helmet, the whole gear, the army gear with the, the big gun, the big fake gun or whatever. And yeah, so it was an amazing. But see, this is the thing with me, acting or even regular acting, or even having words or background acting. It's always been a thing of mine since a younger age. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people that don't know my legacy, they don't know about that. You know what I'm saying? I even met. You remember? I forgot his real name. Remember Steve Urkel from way back in the days, the comedy that they had on TV?
Oh yeah, man, you can never go wrong with Family Matters, man. The show's hilarious.
Yeah, I even met him, but his TV shows, the older him, Steve Urkel. I met him on a movie set. we're supposed to talk to these people, but then I just run into them, and they start talking to me, and there was a time even when I played in Blade, and I went to Snake. You know what I'm saying? We talked, we laughed even. You know what I'm saying? Because there was a part where he was acting not far away from me where I was. So he ended up, hey, how you doing? We ended up, talk for like 5-10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? And that was way back in the day. So, and that's just to name a few movies that I've played in. You know what I'm saying? Blade. You know what I'm saying? The A-Team. You know what I'm saying? A couple TV shows. There's so many others. There's a few others too that it's not coming off the top right now. But I appreciate that. Yeah, it's a great experience when you go and play movies and stuff, because you get to meet other individuals. It's like networking, similar to like the music game in a way. You network with other individuals there. You go there, you get paid. You know what I'm saying? Obviously for the day, and then you get fed. You know what I'm saying? You're on set. You know what I'm saying? You're meeting the top notch actors. You're meeting the upcoming actors. And then the producers, you know what I'm saying, it's 100% professional. You know what I'm saying? When it's action, whoever has a word, or they're acting. You know what I'm saying? Okay, but they can talk. Those are the only people that can talk. You know what I'm saying? Besides that, the other people, the background actors, or other individuals that are in the movie, can't talk at that point. You know what I'm saying? Light, camera, action, don't say nothing. So we're shooting a movie. It was so real. It was so real for me, because I was doing that like really young. You know what I'm saying? Like in my early 20s. It was like so real. It was an amazing experience, especially that A-Team. They had us at a place where it was like all stand. It looked like military. It was like all set up, a military camp. That's the way it was set up, like an actual military camp for the movie shoot. And yeah, it was amazing, man. They had me in the army suit, you know what I'm saying, carrying, the fake guns, pushing the weights, you know what I'm saying, because you need that in a movie, on a movie set, right? Some army pushing the weights, making jokes, cracking jokes and stuff like that. So yeah, no, thank you for asking, man, because off and on, when I look at that picture, and I still have it until today, like even though it's been so many years. I have it in my phone, in my computer, and I always revisit that picture and look at it like, wow, like I can't believe I did this. You know what I'm saying? It's part of a bunch of accomplishments that I've accomplished. You know what I'm saying? Besides the music shit over the years, yeah.
And also, man, while we're actually on the topic of just extraordinary life events, man, you also had the opportunity to travel overseas, where you actually performed on a tropical island. I was wondering if you can actually tell our listeners a story behind this voyage, and of course, what was it like actually performing in an entirely different country?
It was amazing, man. I've always wanted to do something like that, and I remember when I did it, it was 2010, and I can repeat it over and over again, because that's my roots. You know what I'm saying? It's called Seychelles Island. For those that don't know, it's a tropical island. Not far away from Madagascar, Mauritius. There's 112 islands. It's not Madagascar, it's not Mauritius. It's Mahe, it's called. It's an island that is surrounded by water. You know what I'm saying? Mostly water, right? And it's a civilized island. You know what I'm saying? There's a police. Everything is proper. It's a respectable island. You know what I'm saying? It's a great place to be. You know what I'm saying? Actually, I was born in Seychelles Island. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? My family came when I was like 10 years old. You know what I'm saying? 9 or 10 years old in Montreal. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's my roots, but I never went back there until I was older. Never. When I was younger. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of I didn't really connect. I didn't really connect to my roots that much. You know what I'm saying? Leaving at a younger age and so forth. But then when I went back, it was all planned properly, where it takes like 14 to 20 hours to get there in the first place. You know what I'm saying? You have to take 2 separate planes, jump into another country, take a different plane, you know what I'm saying, to get to Seychelles Island. And it's kind of like, in Seychelles Island, it's kind of like similar kind of, culture as, you would say, Jamaica, or, there's Rastas, there's reggae, there's, you know what I'm saying, different stuff. But it's not the same language, you know what I'm saying, it's a broken Creole. and it's a broken Creole mixed with French and English. It's not Haitian Creole either, because I don't know if you can try. Oh, it's Haitian. No, it's not. You know what I'm saying? It's its own type of Creole, and basically it's a tropical island. You know what I'm saying? A bunch of famous actors went there, over the years, rented their own little private island. I said there's 112 islands, but there's a main island. Mahe is the main one that has all the bank, all the professional stuff on there. You know what I'm saying? So what happened is that I made contact with my family over there because, I obviously have a lot of family there. You know what I'm saying? When I go on vacation, they take care of me. I don't have to pay for hotels. I can bring a friend. I can bring whoever I want. You know what I'm saying? That are respectable. You know what I'm saying? So basically, I go there. My uncle lives on the hill, and you can see like the whole ocean from where he lives. You can see like some part of the city because he lives on the hill, right? Nice big house on the hill. So when I go there, I stay at his house. I go and visit other family. You know what I'm saying? But before I went there, I originally had CDs, and at that time of CD time, I had CDs, had music out online, MySpace during that time. I believe 2010, right? So basically, I promoted it heavy. Me going there. So when I got there, it was like a no-brainer because some of my family is connected with the radio station and then the TV station as well. So when I got there, I had a music video already, set for them to actually play on the video box that they have in the island, right? And at the same time, I had a single that was really talking about Seychelles Island, you know what I'm saying, talking about the roots there and stuff like that. So it was an instant hit. So over there, you know what I'm saying, it was an instant hit. So they put it on the radio, they had it in rotation, and eventually, I went for a radio interview there. It was so professional, it was great. And then eventually they called me for a TV interview as well. And I did that too, man. It was surreal. It's a tropical island, you know what I'm saying? White sand, we go to the beach almost every day. You know what I'm saying? And I have tons of cousins there that misses me all the time. They see me, when you coming back? Or you know what I mean? It was an amazing experience. And there, like I say, it's an island, so it's smaller. You know what I mean? So it's like you start moving around now. A lot of people know your music. People you don't know. You know what I'm saying? People that was downloading mixtape during that time. They'll talk about other songs they heard of me, and it was like instant. Like you know what I'm saying? It's like I'm super popular in Seychelles Island. You know what I'm saying? Even recently, about maybe a year or two ago, I dropped another single where I had Honey the Diva, to mention her again. She was singing in the chorus. And this particular song, we recorded it when we went to Seychelles, right? There was a particular time after 2010 I went to Seychelles on vacation, and we ended up working on a song. And that song ended up passing everybody else that's in the island that does a Creole, some English mix or whatever, reggae, R&B, or they even have rap in there too. They do. So even the rooted culture music, I passed them. It's like it took a bit of time. I was at number 10 at first, and eventually I became number one spot. So during that time when I became number one spot over there for one of the singles that I dropped with Honey the Diva, and a person from Seychelles Island, they included him too. During that time when it hit, COVID hit. So I couldn't go, to go and perform it there. Because I've done, even in 2010, I've been doing shows in Seychelles. You know what I'm saying? In 2010, when I dropped that single there, I was on the radio, I was on TV. I was also performing live, you know what I'm saying, in the clubs. You feel me? So it was definitely off the strength of the music, man, and I just kept it going. You know what I'm saying? I kept it going. I was, they always say, you can't forget where you come from because you won't know where you're going. You know what I'm saying? And those are some of the rules I live by. And it's surreal, man. You know what I'm saying? And just to expand into overseas, literally, this is overseas into another country. That's what I've always wanted to do. This was planned early on in my career, but it wasn't forced. You know what I'm saying? It was due in time. It's kind of like falling two places together in time in 2010 when I did that, and then boom, I put my mark on there at that time. And the DJs was spinning the record in the clubs as well. You know what I'm saying? With the strength. It wasn't no paying the DJ or none of that. It was the strength. Even the radio was of the strength of the music. and it wasn't because my family they know him. No, that helped, but like the music spoke for itself, and this is the reason why they wanted me, for the interview. They wanted the singles, and like now, like I said, recently, I have a hit single, the number one on there. Like imagine if COVID didn't hit, I would have been there. It would have been like game over. You know what I mean? And this is because there's different radio stations in Seychelles Island, right? And different radio station changes over the years. And this is one of the top radio stations for many years now in Seychelles. I even talked to the owner too, and she loved the song. And then, like you said, Honey the Diva was on the chorus, and I was smart to add a person from the island that lives there, that stayed there, that never left there. You know what I'm saying? So then he's doing the Creole part in the song. I'm doing the English part. You know what I'm saying? And Diva is singing the chorus, but the chorus is in Creole. It's mixed with English. It's like Creole and English. So people are like, oh my God, but we did that. That was like, because I wanted the second single to be boom, to hit hard, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what happened with that, brother.
And also as well, man, on June 27th of 2022, you actually released the amazing 7-track album titled Drill Music. I was wondering if you can actually tell our listeners the story and inspiration behind this most recently released album. And of course, do you actually have any hard copies of it that are available to be purchased today?
You mean like hard copy, like CDs?
CDs and vinyls, yeah.
Yeah, CDs. Well, CDs and vinyl. That's something that I was fucking with early on in my career, and I kind of started focusing on more of the digital world for the past couple of years now, because I've given and sold also, but I've given out and sold so many mixtapes for so many years. There was even a time that mixtapes or CDs or like hard copy, it was a time where they were like, people tell me it's not a thing anymore. Like, there's the phone, there's there's the SD card and all that. It's all digital now. You know what I'm saying? There's those Spotify and iTunes and so forth, those digital platforms. And because of that, I kind of started focusing more. But it can be done overnight. Things like that are easy to turn around, right? Overnight that can be made, and that's basically that drill music EP is because for so many years I've focused on my career on putting out mixtapes in the beginning, and then I end up I end up putting mixtapes to get myself out there and doing shows, and eventually I got into albums. So then there was a time I was just doing albums. You know what I'm saying? There was a time I was doing albums and mixtape at the same time. So for the past couple of years now, I started really focusing and said, you know what? I'm gonna start putting out. I'm gonna switch it up. Instead of putting the albums out, I'm gonna start doing EPs and singles. And this is where the drill music EP, came from, right? And basically, I got inspired. You know what I'm saying? I got inspired by the drill music community, and I just want to salute, man. A lot of people, some individual, on different levels, they disregard the youngins, the drill music. I just want to touch base on that. I love it, man. I'm saying as much as I love the boom bap and the original hip hop. You know what I'm saying? That I grew up on. I go back and forth. You know what I'm saying? You catch me in my whip banging DMX. Get on me, dog. You know what I'm saying? But also you catch me in my whip banging one of those. You know what I'm saying? Playing one of those drill music. Drill artists from New York. You know what I'm saying? Even one of those younger dudes. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel their energy. I feel that because the drill music is so attached to the street. You know what I'm saying? And for me, I've been attached to the street for a very long time. I'm saying before I actually cut ties and said, you know what, I'm gonna focus on the music thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm from then on at that time. But drill music is it's a way of life. You know what I'm saying? I got inspired by it, but not just from the youngin, but from my story. You know what I mean? Things I went through in my life. at a younger age, you know what I'm saying, being in gangs and stuff like that, and being affiliated with certain individuals or doing certain things, being caught up in the street and stuff at a younger age. That really inspired me to be like, now I can really tell my story in a different way. And the sound of the music and the beats and the beat itself changes, right? So it's a new era beat. It's drill beat. You know what I'm saying? It's fast paced. You know what I mean? The drum, the melody. So that's what really inspired me to really go in and write an EP like that. And also too, the only reason why I kind of did this EP is because prior doing mixtape here and there, because I never gave up on the mixtape game, right? Putting mixtapes in different 10 to 15 different mixtape sites over the years, flooded the mixtape site over the years with tons of mixtapes. People loved when I did a remix on a drill song or one of the drill music or whatever beat. They loved it. So there, I'm like, I gotta really like sit down and really, really put my music together. You know what I'm saying? Try to cater. Also too, I love doing it. Putting boom bap stuff out and at the same time putting drill music. So drill music was really inspired on that level. And if you look at the drill EP, for example, you know what I'm saying? The first song is called Do a Drill. You know what I'm saying? It's filling with the street and the gang stuff. And then the second one is called War. The War song is more me talking about, what's going on in today's world, the hatred that's going on in society against black individuals, black people dying young or being killed by police and so forth. So the War song really directs towards that, talking about that, the specific of, it's not right, you know what I'm saying, what the police are doing, you know what I'm saying? It's illegal and stuff like that. So that's the War song. And End of Time, it's more of like not positive song, but energy song, you know what I'm saying? A song that gives you a positive energy, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I will never stop, you know what I'm saying? We're going to grind until the end of time. And what really inspired me out of this, honestly, to put this actually drill music together, it was literally two songs, you know what I'm saying? There's the Straight Cap song, and then the Death Before the Sun song. You know what I'm saying? There's a MOB, there's the Mob song, and then there's Dollar for Dollar, which it's a remix with Yo Gotti, right? At that time, he had a remix going on, and any artist it was a contest that was going on, so I jumped on it. At the same time, I put it because it's modern, so I put it on the drill music EP. But what really inspired me is that I did these two singles. I did the Straight Cap, so the Straight Cap is an upbeat. You can dance to it, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of, it's the drill music. It's kind of similar to that Pop Smoke shit, you know what I'm saying? Music, and also too, the Death Before Dishonor is a song that I really dedicate to Gone Gotti, Cutthroat Mafia. You know what I'm saying? Salute to my brother. That really advanced my career in the music industry, even in life. Generally in a positive way. You know what I'm saying? So I had to do a song dedicated to him, and that's where the Death Before Dishonor song came in. And these two songs right there, the Straight Cap and the Death Before Dishonor, those were like singles that I recorded before the drill music EP was really put together. Then eventually I like, you know what, I have to put an album on EP together, because I'll drop these two as a single, but then I just want to make my mark still of being, relevant and being also I'm still here. You know what I'm saying, doing this music shit. So it's like it's a business at the end of the day, but we'll get to that. You know what I'm saying? To say the least, is that's what that whole thing that I said. That's what inspired me to really, go in on the drill music, and you know what I mean. It's out there. It's everywhere. It's what people are talking about. It's you know what I mean. It's in everybody's ears. The music, the people, you know what I'm saying? Some people hate on it, some people love it. So me, I just decided, you know what? I'm just gonna put out for this time frame, in the hip hop culture where we at. I'm just gonna, chef this stuff together But it took literally half a year, I think, probably 6 months for me to really, put this EP together because I wanted it to sound properly and I wanted it to have the proper message, not just drill or it's bad, it's this and that. So this is the reason why in the drill music EP I incorporated different songs with different subjects and different things I'm talking about on the song. Not just drill, 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 kill, 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 or not just like street, street, street. I made it purposely to also talk about, governmental issue against, black individuals in the war song, like I just said, and so forth, right? So that's what really inspired me to actually, you know what I'm saying? And it's a new project. It's like I never really put out a drill music EP or even a drill music song, on that level, like modern. So that was on my list, you know what I'm saying? So I can scratch that one off now, so, you know what I mean?
But I have to ask, man, what is next for yourself, Genesis to Ruckus, man? Is there anything we happen to miss during tonight's interview? Anything else you do still want to talk about or promote? What was got you here live on 97.7 FM this evening?
Yeah, man, I just want to also, but, before we go ahead, continue, I just want to give a big shout out to Longati, Cutthroat Mafia, that's my family. I want to give a big shout out to Craig Major from Major Entertainment, you know what I'm saying? He's running the shows crazy out here in the West Coast, you know what I'm saying? That's my boy. Salute to him. Salute to Gongari, you know what I'm saying? Salute to Mikey, you know what I'm saying? And Surrey and shit, that's my boy, you know what I mean? I salute to them. Yeah, one thing I definitely want to put out there is that, I never stop, you know what I'm saying? Never give up, you know what I'm saying? Because I never gave up, and because of that, I have a successful clothing company, which is called Ruckus Gear. Look that up. It's on my website as well. It's called Ruckus Gear, and it's been selling like hotcakes. You know what I'm saying? Especially prior to COVID in Toronto, it was a no-brainer. I sold out of Ruckus Gear. You know what I'm saying? It's that popular. It's that popping. So for me to come from a younger age and really focusing on the rap, I'm performing, I'm doing songs. I really went from, I just want to put that out there, that's very important, you know what I'm saying? I went from like, I'm still rapping, I'm still doing my songs, I'm still doing my singles, recording, doing shows, but I came out with Ruckus Gear, and it's been a very successful clothing company up to now, and I'm so happy that, to put that out there, and it's like, I just want to say that, you don't have to focus only on your music career, you can focus on multiple grind that involve entertainment industry, right? So, and one other thing that I wanna put out there as well is that you can do shows all over Canada. You can, move around like I did. You know what I'm saying? I did a small Canadian tour, in my early 20s, and then now I'm doing a West Coast tour. And I recently also did a show in Calgary. Calgary invited me at the Pop Off Pass Festival this summer that just passed, and you know what I'm saying? It was great. The Pop Off Pass family. Salute to them too, man. They really, you know what I'm saying? They really invited me there to perform, paid me, and the whole 9 yards, you know what I'm saying? And they were feeling the strength of the Death Before the song. I went there, performed. They treated me like family when I went there. Big shout out to the Pop Off Pass family in, you know what I'm saying? Also the Extract King, you know what I'm saying? The Extract King, you know what I'm saying? Salute to him. They treated me like family, you know what I'm saying? They hugged me when I went there. You know what I'm saying, and brought me inside, did my show, did my performance. The people loved it. There was a huge crowd there, and then basically now I'm doing shows in Vancouver, and doing different shows. And the same thing I did in Toronto too. The same thing I did with the island. Same thing I've been doing for so many years now. I've done it in Montreal too. I did shows over there for wedding shows. Me and Diva, you know what I'm saying? Well, people don't know that. So that was a couple years ago. Me and Honey La Diva, we did performances. We did performances at wedding places, or people having their wedding wanted us to perform our song because our song, goes with their wedding theme. So we went to Montreal and did songs, and got paid for that. So and performances is where it's at. So you have to move around too. You know what I'm saying? To the artists out there, I just want to give out a couple jewels. You have to move around. Do shows, you know what I'm saying, push it, you know what I'm saying, don't take no for an answer, you know what I'm saying, whoever's stopping you from doing anything, just go over their head and just keep doing it, keep doing you, stay in a positive lane, and and you will accomplish things in life that you never thought you would accomplish, like myself, you know what I'm saying? I never thought I would have a successful company. I didn't see that shit coming when I started, when I was rapping at a younger age, but now I have a successful clothing company. I own a recording studio. I own a record label. It's registered, all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? So to the artists out there, get into the business aspect part of it, because that's where my career really changed and went to the next level, because I started looking at it more like a business. You know what I'm saying? Not just as an artist or just as a rapper, just as a musician. I'm that too. But then I wear different hats. You know what I'm saying? Then, there was a time I was consulting artist in Toronto. I mean, in the early 20s, you know what I'm saying? I'm an OG. I was bringing them on stage with me on the biggest stage. That I've connected and got close to in my neighborhood in Toronto. I brought them on stage, and I didn't judge them just because they didn't have a hit song or they weren't that popular. Because they were close to me, they chilled me all the time. Certain times I've been brought them to the radio show. So that's what I do. And like I noticed even today, I was want to touch base on that. Today's world, in the hip hop world, in the hip hop culture, there's a lot of vultures out there, culture vultures. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of them. You know who you are. I don't have to say no names. I'm not gonna say no names. You know what I'm saying? They're not painting the picture or even elevating the upcoming artist to the next level, or even to carry the torch, or just giving pushing him to the next step in their career. They're not doing that because they're just thinking about self. You know what I'm saying? And the hip hop culture and the hip hop industry as a whole, you know that, and I know that, it's always been about community. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's missing out here in the West Coast. Missing that community in hip hop. It's missing that connection. Everybody here is working for themselves, separated, delegated. In comparison to Toronto, it might be saturated, right? Right? Like we said earlier in the beginning, to end with this, it might be saturated, but then, like New York, like United States, we actually, some places in the States, we actually, in Toronto, we work together. We help each other, not help, but we advance each other. You have a sick single, or you're doing good with the numbers, or whatever, or you're doing good with the show, you want to perform, you want to sell tickets. There's always that, if you push, you will show fine. If you search, you show find what you're looking for. And that's the way Toronto is, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I really miss, and that's why I can't wait to go back home, you know what I'm saying? But it's all business, you know what I'm saying? I came to the West Coast to do shows and connect with certain individuals, and in the process I ended up making connections with some people in Calgary. So now every year I can go to Calgary and perform, you know what I'm saying? For 3 days. I performed for 1 day last time, but that's a 3-day event. So every year I can go to Calgary and perform there, you know what I'm saying, get my bag and just keep on moving, you know what I'm saying? And basically, man, it's from people like yourself, you know what I'm saying, DJ Immortal. It's people like yourself, that recognize the artists that are really working hard out here, like myself and other artists, you know what I'm saying, on different levels that are working hard and putting in that work. You're people like yourself giving opportunities, from other radio interviews I've had, podcast interviews I've had in Toronto. It's people like yourself, or people putting me on stage to perform. It's people like yourself that really paint and really open the doors for the next upcoming artists. I just want to salute to you, man. I look up to you like Chocolare, because I met all these people. Chocolare, Maestro Fresh West, you know what I mean? I've rubbed shoulders with these people, you know what I mean? Jadakiss and Styles P, the Lock. You know what I'm saying? I chill with those people. I'm open for them. You know what I'm saying? Some of the OVO members. This is the way that I salute and look up to you. You know what I'm saying? Because you're one of those people to me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure to other individuals as well, man. So big salutes and shout out to you, man. You know what I'm saying?
I gotta say, man, definitely, just hearing an individual put me in the same category as those individuals, man, I'm absolutely humbled and honored, man. So thank you so much for that compliment, Ruckus.
Oh, you're welcome, man. Yeah, man, for real. You've been making making noise, you know what I'm saying? Now it's just even more and more and more, man. You're doing great things, bro. Yeah, you're welcome, my brother.
And before we wrap things up, man, I always like ending things off with this, man, because individuals, they heard your story, they heard about your new projects and what you got going on, man. But if they're not already following you, man, what's your social media handles? That way they can follow you and stay updated with Genesis the Ruckus all across the board if they're not already doing so.
Yeah, so basically, you can always find new music video if you hit my website, genesis.ruckus.com. And also, too, you can search me, you know what I'm saying? I'm an actual, full registered artist. You can search me, on any search engine, like Google, for example. You can search Genesis the Ruckus, and you will see everything. You will see me as a recording artist. You see my profile, my YouTube, everything going to show up. But I'm everywhere, man. My Facebook is Genesis the Ruckus Facebook fan page, and also to YouTube. I'm certified on YouTube. I got the blue check mark. You know what I'm saying? I know some artists don't come. This is very important. But like I said, let's get to the business part of it. So because of that, now you can search Genesis the Ruckus on YouTube and anywhere else or whatever, obviously. But instantly, it's the same thing with YouTube, Genesis the Ruckus. The only thing that's different is it's on Instagram, it's Ruckus Monster on Instagram, you know what I'm saying? And everywhere else is Genesis the Ruckus on Spotify, iTunes Music, any digital platform. I mean, we put on to like 100, at least, close to 100 digital platforms with these EP or singles out, right? So all across the board is Genesis the Ruckus. And my clothing company is called Ruckus Gear. And Ruckus Monsters, it's an AKA, you know what I'm saying, also known as Ruckus Monsters, because I have Project Underground EP, Boom Bap EP that's called Ruckus Monsters, Part 1 and Part 2. And now I made a thing where you search Ruckus Monsters, Genesis the Ruckus shows up. So you search Ruckus Monsters, and Genesis the Ruckus shows up, also the EP shows up, but then Genesis the Ruckus profile, me as an artist shows up. But this wasn't by accident. I did that. You know what I'm saying? So this is where the people can find me. You know what I'm saying? And also too, I have a few Instagram. You know what I'm saying? I got the Ruckus Gear Instagram. You know what I'm saying? I got the Rap the Best Records, because that's my record label that I own independently. You know what I'm saying? Basically, the main one on Instagram is Ruckus Monsters. And also to the other platform, there's another platform that is not coming into mind. There's another platform where I'm really popping on there right now. TikTok, yeah, just came up. So check me out on TikTok. On TikTok is Ruckus Monsters with an S. Ruckus Monsters with an S. And on Instagram is Ruckus Monster. And same thing with Twitter. It's Ruckus Monster. The only thing that's different is Genesis the Ruckus on YouTube, Genesis the Ruckus on on Facebook. But like I said, search Ruckus Monsters on any search engine, Genesis the Ruckus gonna show up. You know what I'm saying? Everything else gonna follow. So you know what I'm saying? You don't give yourself a headache. Try to go and people out there don't give themselves a headache. Try to go and search onto different platforms. They can just put one of those two names in any search engine, and my TikTok will show up, my Instagram will show up, my YouTube, my stuff that I have on the digital platform will show up, the music. Yeah.
And I got to say, first and foremost, Ruckus, thank you so much, man, for just giving us a bit of your time here this evening and sliding into the 97.7 FM radio dial, man. It definitely was an honor and most definitely a privilege, man. And I'm pretty sure down the line we definitely shall talk again soon.
Oh yeah, no, definitely, man. One last thing I just want to say, I'm dropping a mixtape on the 1st of October for the Halloween mixtape. It's called Halloween Ruckus Part 11, and just to let y'all know, man, it's gonna be out. This is a little freebie. You know what I'm saying? Since COVID, I haven't dropped a mixtape. I'm dropping a little short mixtape freebie, Halloween Ruckus. It's a legacy that I've done for, as you can tell, 11 years now. And, so it's coming out, man. Thank you for having me, man. I really appreciate that. I'm sure I'll be back on another time, but that's the only thing. And another thing that one last thing is that Death Before Dishonor is doing really good in the streaming world, you know what I'm saying? It's going up for like 10K now. We're trying to rank it up to 20K so I can get, a gold plaque from Music Canada, you know what I'm saying? But that's the next step that we're doing, and then you know, I'm still doing shows here. So starting next year, I'm gonna start doing shows in the East Coast, you know, Montreal and Toronto. I'll be back in Toronto, you know what I'm saying, before you know it. And that's basically that's what's coming up for me, man. And look out for me also too, opening up for a couple major names. I can't say the name right now, but in near future, I'll be opening up for a couple of major names. And that's what I have as project. And for the new year, I would sit down 2 months, October and November, 2 months out of the year. I craft my music single and stuff. So you're definitely gonna have, as soon as the ball drop in January 2023, gonna be new singles out and a new EP, two new EP from Ruckus coming out. Well, one EP over the year and one middle of the year. But yeah, for the new year, there's a new EP that's gonna come out and a couple hit singles that's gonna hit the digital world. So you know what I'm saying? So to all my fans out there, all my listeners, all my Ruckus supporters, you know what I'm saying? Stay tuned and keep in touch and keep following the Ruckus.
Hey, most definitely, Ruckus. Thank you so much again, man. We definitely shall talk soon, man, and definitely enjoy your night out there in BC.
Salute, my brother. Thank you. Ruckus. Peace.